Welcome to week 1 of KIN 470, Organization and Administration of Exercise Science Programs. In this week's lecture, we're going to talk about the hidden foundation, why administration makes or breaks exercise science programs. And I'm Dr. Jim Ave, and over the next 16 weeks, we're going to explore something that many exercise science students overlook: the critical role of administration in the success or failures of fitness facilities and wellness programs. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, I didn't get into exercise science to push paper and manage budgets. I want to work with people and help them get healthier, maybe train athletes or design programs. I hear you. But here's what I've learned and what I want you to understand. Administration isn't separating from serving people, it's how you serve people effectively in sustainability. Let me start with a question. Have you ever been a member of a poorly run fitness center? What did it look like? Maybe the equipment was constantly broken. Maybe staff seemed unprepared or indifferent. Maybe safety protocols were unclear. Maybe the place just felt chaotic. Now think about a well-run facility you've experienced. What was the difference? I bet it wasn't just the equipment or the building. It was the system, the organization, the attention to detail. That's administration. Let's start by defining what is administration in the context of exercise science. Administration is the systematic coordination of resources, people, policies, and processes to achieve organizational goals while ensuring safety, quality, and sustainability. That's kind of formal. Let's put it in kind of plain terms. Administration ensures that the right people are in the right places with the right training. The resources are available when needed. Risks are identified and managed before they become problems. Everyone knows what's expected of them. The lights stay on and the doors stay open. Most importantly, people can safely pursue their health and fitness goals. Without effective administration, even best programming fails. You can have certified trainers, evidence-based protocols, and motivated clients, but if your facility is poorly managed, programs collapse. Think of administration as the invisible architects that supports everything else. Members don't see it directly, but they experience its effects constantly. When administration works well, you see these following things. Members exercise confidently because they've been properly screened and orientated. Equipment is maintained and available when needed. Staff knows their roles and perform them competently. Emergencies are handled swiftly and effectively. Policies are clear and applied consistently. The facilities feels organized, safe, and professional. Programs run smoothly and achieve their objectives, and financial stability allows for growth and improvement. But on the other side of things, when administrative fails, safety accidents that could have been prevented, staff confusion and inconsistent service delivery, equipment failures and maintenance backlogs, emergency responses that are chaotic and inadequate, members who are unclear about rules and expectations, financial crises that lead to cuts or closures, high staff turnover and low morale, legal problems and liability claims. Here's the truth. Poor administration kills good programs. Excellent administration enables good programs to become great. So what exactly does an exercise science administrator do? The scope is broader than most people realize. Let me walk you through the major domains of administrative responsibilities. Risk management and safety. This is foundational. As an administrator, you are responsible for identifying, assessing, and controlling risk in your facility. This includes developing screening protocols, who should exercise, under what conditions, what medical clearances are needed, creating emergency action plans, what happens when somebody collapses on your gym floor, what to do, how quickly can you respond, implementing safety procedures, how do you ensure equipment is safe, how do you supervise activities appropriately, what policies protect both members and staff, managing liability, how do you protect your facilities legally while still providing excellent services. Every administrative decision has safety implications. Where do you place equipment? Who do you hire? What policies do you implement? How do you maintain your facilities? All of these affect risk. And when something goes wrong, then the administrator is accountable. Human resource management. Your facility is only as good as your people. As an administrator, you are responsible for staffing decisions. How many positions do you need? What qualifications are required? How do you recruit and select qualified candidates? Credentialing and competence. Are your staff appropriately certified? Are certifications current? Do they meet professional standards? Training and development. How do you onboard new staff? What ongoing training is required? How do you develop your team's competencies? Performance management. How do you evaluate staff? How do you address performance issues? How do you recognize excellence? Creating culture. What's the work environment like? Do people feel valued? Is there collaboration or competition? Does your culture support your mission? People are your most valuable resource and often your largest expense. How do you manage your human resources directly impacts your program quality, member satisfaction, and organizational success. Next, facility and equipment management. The physical environment matters tremendously. Administrators must design functional spaces. How do you allocate space efficiently? How do you ensure appropriate flow? How do you accommodate different activities safely? Select appropriate equipment. What equipment supports your program goals? What can you afford? What maintenance will be required? Maintain standards. How do you keep facilities clean, safe, and appealing? What preventative maintenance is needed? When do you repair versus replace? Plan for growth. How do you design for future needs? What expansions might be needed? How do you stay current with industry trends? Your facility communicates messages to members the moment they walk in. Is it professional, safe, well-maintained, inviting? These are aesthetic questions. They're administrative questions. Our next area is policy and procedure development. Clear policies and procedures create consistency, fairness, and efficiency. Administrators develop and implement orientation policies. Those are what are the rules, when is the facility open, what behaviors are expected, what services are offered. Member policies. What's the administration process? What's the membership categories? What's the cancellation policy? Emergency procedures. What's the step-by-step response to difficult emergencies? Who does what? How do you document incidents? Personnel policies. What are employees' expectations? What are professional conduct standards? What's the disciplinary process? Policies aren't about bureaucracy. They're about fairness, consistency, and clarity. They protect everyone by establishing clear expectations and procedures. Our next area is financial management. Programs need resources to operate. Administrators are responsible for the following: budget development. What will it cost to operate? Where will revenue come from? What's realistic and sustainable? Financial monitoring. Are you on track? Where are variants? What adjustments are needed? Resource allocations. How do you prioritize spending? What investments have the best return? How can you afford it? Our last one is financial planning. How do you plan for growth? How do you build reserves? How do you manage financial risk? Financial management is one of the leading causes of program failure. Even excellent programming can't survive financial collapse. Compliance and legal obligations. Administrators ensure the facility operates with numerous regulations, and these include OSHA, which is health and safety regulations, ADA, or accessibility requirements, HIPAA, or privacy laws, employment laws such as the Equal Employment Opportunity or Fair Labor Standards Act, building codes and zoning requirements, insurance requirements and risk management, and professional standards such as the ACSSM and other credentialing bodies. Compliance isn't optional. Violations have serious consequences. Administrators must know their requirements and ensure adherence. Program evaluation and quality improvement. Good administrators constantly assess and improve. This includes outcome assessment. Are programs achieving their objectives? How do you know? Quality monitoring. What standards do you maintain? How do you measure quality? Data collection and analysis. What metrics matters? What do trends tell you? Continuous improvement. How do you identify opportunities for improvement? How do you implement changes? Excellence isn't achieved once. It's maintained through ongoing evaluation and improvement. Let's talk about some real-world examples when administration matters most. I'm going to provide you some scenarios that are based on real situations. First scenario is a cardiac event. It's Tuesday morning at 6:30 a.m. Your facility has been open for 30 minutes. A 58-year-old male member is on the treadmill when he suddenly grabs his chest and claps. If the administration has failed, staff panic because they've never practiced emergency response. No one is sure who should call 911. The AED is locked in an office and the person with the key isn't there. When the AED is finally retrieved, the batteries are dead. No one documented the health screening, so you don't know his medical history. EMS can't find a facility easily because the address isn't clear. The incident report is incomplete or missing. The family sues for negligent response. If the administration has succeeded, staff immediately implements practice emergency action plan. Roads are clear. One person takes charge. Another calls 911. Another retrieves the AED. The AED is accessed within 90 seconds and is fully functional. Staff begins CPR while waiting for the AED. Emergency contact information is readily available. EMS knows exactly where to enter and how to access the facility. The incident is thoroughly documented. The member survives with minimal complications. The facility's response demonstrates standard of care. The difference? Administrative preparation. You can't control whether cardiac events happen, but you absolutely control your readiness to respond. That's administration. The second scenario is an unqualified instructor. Your facility offers group exercise classes. You hire an instructor who presents a personal training certification but has no group exercise credential. She's enthusiastic and members seem to like her initially. If the administration has failed, you didn't verify her credentials beyond the card she showed you. You didn't check that her credential was current. You didn't ensure she had appropriate insurance. You didn't observe her teaching before assigning classes. She injures multiple participants through inappropriate progressions. Investigation reveals she's not actually certified for group instruction. Your facility is liable for negligence, hiring, and supervision. Your insurance may not cover the claims. Your reputation is damaged. If administration has succeeded, you verified all credentials directly with issuing organizations. You confirmed appropriate certifications for group instruction. You required proof of current CPR and AED and insurance. You conducted practical assessment before assigning classes. You provided facility-specific training and orientation. You observe classes regularly for quality assurance. Your hiring practices demonstrate due diligence. Any issues are identified and addressed early. The difference: administrative thoroughness in hiring and supervision. In our last scenario is the financial crisis. Your facility has been operating for 2 years. Suddenly, you can't make payroll. Staff aren't getting paid. Equipment maintenance is deferred. Programs are cut. Eventually, you close. What happened? The revenue projections were overly optimistic. Expenses were underestimated. No budget monitoring was occurred. Warning signs were ignored or not recognized. No financial reserves were built. No adjustments were made when variances appeared. By the time the crisis was recognized, it was too late. If administration has succeeded, conservative revenue projections were used. All expenses were comprehensively estimated. Monthly budgets reviewed occurred. Variances were identified, investigated promptly, where reserves were built during good months. Adjustments were made when needed. Financial health was maintained. The difference: administrative financial competence. These aren't hypothetical horror stories. These things happen regularly in facilities with poor administration. They're preventable through competent administrative practices. Who is in an exercise science administrator? What does this professional identity look like? An effective exercise administrator is a systems thinker. You see how everything connects. You understand that equipment placement affects supervision, which affects safety, which affects liability, which affects insurance cost. You think holistically about the organization. A risk manager. You anticipate problems before they occur. You identify variabilities or vulnerabilities. You implement controls. You don't just react to crisis. You prevent them when possible and manage them effectively when they occur. A people deliverer. You recognize that organizational success depends on people. You invest in hiring well, training thoroughly, developing continuously, and creating environments where people can thrive. A steward of resources. You manage physical, financial, and human resources responsibility. You make strategic decisions about resource allocations. You balance competing demands thoughtfully. A standard bearer. You uphold professional standards. You ensure compliance with regulations. You maintain quality. You demonstrate integrity in all operations. A continuous learner. You stay current with best practices, regulations, and industry trends. You seek to improve constantly. You learn from both success and failures. A servant leader. You understand that administration exists to enable mission fulfillment. You serve staff, members, and a broader community through excellent management. This is a professional identity worth developing. Exercise science administrators play a crucial role in the health and wellness of communities.